precedes after this meeting, there is an executive session.
Can you turn your mic on, please?
Pardon?
Turn your mic on, please.
Sure, it's on. Thank you, Bruce. Comments from the guests?
Oh, it's all going to be on there.
Robert Linden, West Rock Hill. First of all, you have 2 item 1s on your agenda.
Would you turn your mic on, please?
You have 2 item 1s on the agenda. So I give you a failing grade for this paper here. Your item 2, I guess, review of PSD draft policy for second reading. I found those policies on the website as up for review, but I don't find anything under item 3, I guess, which is policy number 801 to 217 is under review. Was that supposed to be listed on the website?
We don't post policies for first reading until the board goes through a meeting and decides they actually want to consider it. So once they decide they want to consider it, then it gets posted for the next meeting, actually gets approved. But the thing is, if they say no, there's no sense in even putting it up on the website. So that's,
Okay,
that's been the
That's
practice.
what I was wondering.
Yeah, that's been the practice.
Says individuals are asked to sign the book at the podium and then state their name and township of the borough where they reside before. There's nothing here to sign. So I don't understand that sentence.
That's probably a pro forma thing that we do on every doggone agenda.
Well, it's not on the one that preceded you.
And if you'd like, I can put a note out there so you can sign it.
I just like this.
Yoke?
I just like your agendas to be accurate.
Okay, with that, Bruce, let's start with item number 1.
Item number 1, all these policies are up for the second reading. There was extensive responses by our solicitor at the May board meeting where there were questions and he went through all the questions the board had in that month's meeting. So at this point, we're recommending them for the second reading and as revised based on solicitor comment and input by the board at the last meeting.
Are there any questions about those policies? We can go through them as you wish. Being none, we'll have a motion on these at our next board meeting. Okay, let's go to policy number, first reading on policy number 801, Bruce.
Policy 801 is a slight change. Let me get down to that. What we're recommending is that in the previous policy that is in existence right now, is we have a specific title of a person in the school district as opposed to allowing the superintendent to make a decision about who should be the open records officer. So we're recommending that the board shall designate the superintendent who could be the open records officer, or she could assign it to whomever she wishes at this point. So usually we leave it that way, and that's the only change in this policy on this page, is to make sure that superintendent will pick somebody, because the board could have a different direction. There could be different responsibilities based on the different departments. So that's the only recommendation to change for this.
Are there any questions? And we'll bring this up as a first reading at our next board meeting.
Thank you. The second policy is a new one based on change in the law, and I have Matt Smith here. You'll notice it's a draft right from PSBA, from their attorneys based right in the law. So Matt's going to go through this, and I'll have this posted for you.
Hey, good evening, everyone. This is part of the policy review that, for the most part, has been completed. This is one that we held back because we were waiting for the changes in the Chapter 4 regulations to be published, and they were published right before the start of the summer. And then PSBA just published these during the summer. The one thing you'll notice when you read the policy itself is there aren't a lot of details about our district graduation requirements. It also does reference the Chapter 4 regs and the graduation requirements, but it doesn't list the credit amounts for the graduation requirements. I do want to share outside of this that when the administrative procedures are brought to the board and published, those details will be present in the administrative procedures. And I've shared at several committee meetings that what the state has changed about the graduation requirements primarily is the removal of the requirement for the 0.25 credit graduation project and the insertion of the requirements related to Keystone exams in, they actually reference in Chapter 4 all the Keystone exams that may or may not come to be. The 3 that we have currently, which are the only 3 that we're guaranteed to have, are the biology, literature, and Algebra 1 Keystones. So those details will all be in the administrative procedures. I don't want to read straight from this, but I will share some important things from the policy, the district's obligations to communicate the graduation requirements. We did update the program of study already to reflect the state requirements in advance of this, and we'll obviously continue to communicate the graduation requirements to students. There's some important language in it regarding the district's obligation to award high school diplomas. There's a section for students with disabilities that there's 2 separate things that addresses. One is that students be allowed to sort of walk at the ceremony with their class, even if they are their educations are being extended beyond that traditional 12th grade year. And the other is that students who graduate based on standards or IEP goals are permitted to graduate, obviously. Part-time students, there's two separate types of part-time students that are referenced. Those that will work part-time, and we have some students who will have agreements where they do work part-time, and also obviously have to meet their graduation requirements as part-time students. We also have some part-time students who will actually begin their college studies when they fulfill their high school obligations, and they're able to graduate as well. Some of this references we have a policy on dual enrollment as well. There is a section on eligible veterans who have met certain requirements and are veterans of World War II, Korean War, or Vietnam War. This is standard language that gets put in the policy, so that section refers to that. And then it ends up with the responsibilities of the superintendent or designee, which involves publication of the details of graduation requirements, counseling for students to make sure that they're working towards those graduation requirements, assessments of individual student achievement to ensure that they're meeting those requirements throughout, accurate recording and reporting of coursework and progress towards graduation, provisions, assistance for students who are having difficulty that can come in a variety of forms. And then finally, a list of individuals who qualify for the diploma is the actual list of students who are graduating, and then planning and executing the ceremony itself. So there aren't a ton of details in the policy itself. Most of those details appear in the administrative procedures. I do want to share very quickly that I've drafted administrative procedures already, but I do think it's important that my successor have an opportunity to look at those, and I'll share those. Also, Dr. Radigan and I have talked a little bit about the absence or withdrawal of the graduation project, and there may be an opportunity. That's actually something I think students benefited from, that they've pulled out of the state requirements. We may want to discuss as a district keeping it in some form of that as part of our local district requirements. I will share very quickly as well that there are some areas where we do exceed the state's requirements for our own district requirements, and we would go over that when we share the administrative procedures related to this policy.
Do we have any questions? If not, this will be coming up on the next board meeting, as the first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It will be put in our Pennridge format. This is from PSD, but you'll see it'll be in Pennridge, and we're going to just take the exact language so it's closer to what the other policies look like.
This time we can move to public comment. Any more public comment? This meeting is adjourned. We'll take a very short break here, but while the public leaves the room. Thank you.